Hi, welcome to Astrobabble. I am Donna from Donna B Astrology.
And I'm Lynda from Scullywag Astrology.
And today we are going to be talking about the full moon in Cancer.
Mhm.
The moon mansion is going to be the eighth moon mansion. It has the nature of Mars and the moon. The keywords are, and this is from the book Christopher Warnock published of the moon mansions. And the keywords he has listed there are the pedestal, the pearl, numinous support, alliance, victorious energies, and conquests. And this has the nature of the moon and Mars for that. So, and then he said that the moon mansions are good for love, marriage, goals, a victory by lawsuit, contests or sports events. It is good for safe road travel. So that'll be good for traveling for the holidays.
Yeah.
Friendship between allies. Incarceration should be strong. If you do go into jail, it will be more difficult to get out. And it is also good to expel bugs and mice. So that is the mansion of the moon. So
Interesting.
that is really interesting. It's a gamut of all kinds of activities that you could do.
It really is. It's the moon and Mars, you said. It's the nature of moon Mars.
Yes.
Interesting that we have Mars and Mercury moving up towards that conjunction, which I think is going to be quite significant. So the moon's in
Yeah.
its own sign. So that's something. Uh,
Yes, it should be very helpful.
mm,
Trining Saturn.
yes. Mars can't see it. It's an aversion. Venus is trine by sign, and Jupiter is sextile by sign. So that's nice. Actually, it looks like Jupiter's the closest aspect. So
Next
that is
aspect.
nice. Yeah, that will probably be the first aspect. We won't go into it because we don't do the lunar aspects because we'd be here all night. But uh, yeah, that's nice. And that
That is nice.
Jupiter is getting ready to station direct too. So the moon and Jupiter will be moving towards each other. Very nice.
The moon is out of bounds, and so is Mars.
Yeah.
So we have a renegade couple of planets that are basically giving the energy for this lunation. So new things, I would think,
Mm.
different situations to
Yeah.
come up.
I think it's going to be an interesting time running up to this new year, particularly once we get past that Mars Mercury, particularly retrograde Mercury conjunction. Once Mars moves into Capricorn, where he's exalted, I think things are really going to start to move.
I got that same feeling. Yeah.
Mm, mm. Well, shall we have a look at the horoscopes?
Oh, sounds like a good idea.
And we
Right.
recommend that you listen or read your ascendant sign horoscopes. And if you don't understand why, Donna and I did a video all about that, and we'll put a link to that in the description.
And the first arising sign that we're going to be talking about is Cancer. And Cancer, this is going to be happening, this full moon is going to be happening in your first house. This full moon is things that are culmination from things that you started about 6 months ago when it was the new moon in Cancer, is one of the ways you can look at this. This will be things that are coming together if you are looking for a wardrobe to brighten up your wardrobe, maybe change your hairstyle, do something for you. This is when that's going to be coming all together for you. Is anything with the first house. The first house is representative of you. So the full moon in the first house, you should be getting some kind of new thing that has to do with just you. And this will probably work out very well.
And if you are a Gemini ascendant, this full moon will be happening in your second house. The second house is the house about income, finances, and resources. So there may be a high point, culmination, or ending regarding these matters. It could be that a stream of income is cut off at this time. Maybe you're retiring from paid employment, or maybe you are quitting a job or dropping one of your income streams. Maybe you've been working a second job and now you don't need to. You've reached that goal or whatever you were trying to achieve. It could be that you've been saving money or working towards purchasing a resource that will be helpful to you, or you receive a resource of some type that's helpful to you. That could be certainly a high point, or this could be like a bonus, particularly this time of year. It's not uncommon for people to receive a bonus, and maybe for our Gemini ascendants, it's a very nice one. You can see that we've got Saturn up in your 10th house of career and public reputation. The moon is moving past that. And so, yes, there's been hard work, persistence, stamina, doing the right things in that 10th house of career or public reputation. So maybe this is the reward for that, which would be extremely nice, particularly this time of year.
And if you are a Taurus rising, this full moon is going to be happening in your third house. And the third house is the house of our short communication or short community, short drives. It's also in charge of our communication as well as our brothers, our sisters, our extended family, early education, those kinds of things. And so this will be coming around. So if you were planning on having your extended family around for the holidays, this would be a culmination where if you were a Taurus rising, you would probably be the one might be hosting it. This is a also could be, culmination around, things that you are finishing up around your community.
And if you are an Aries ascendant, this full moon is happening in your 4th house. The 4th house is the house to do with our parents. It's also our home and living situation and real estate matters. Also encompasses things like heritage. So this may have nothing really to do with you. This might be something that's happening with your parents. It could be that they've reached a goal or some sort of high point at this time, or it could be an ending. It could be they're moving out of their house, or, they're retiring from work or something similar. It could be real estate or to do with your living situation. Maybe you've just purchased a new home and, its settlement's gone through, or you've just moved into a new place. It's a high point, culmination, and, in some cases, it's an ending.
And if you are a Pisces rising, this full moon is going to be happening in your 5th house. And the 5th house is the house where you have your fun. So this is the house of creativity. This is the house of children as well. This is the house of hobbies, entertainment, even a casino. So if you were planning a trip somewhere for a hobby, this would be a culmination. This would be coming to fruition right around now for, those kinds of fun things that we have in our life.
And if you are an Aquarius ascendant, this full moon is happening in your 6th house. The 6th house has to do with illness, but it also has to do with those that work for us. It can be employees, or it could be, a tradesperson in your house, or it could be somebody that you have some sort of supervisory position over. It can sometimes include co-workers. It includes those that work in service of others. So that can include people like doctors, nurses, first responders. And it also includes pets. So there may be a high point, culmination, or ending regarding one of these matters. If it could be an employee's leaving or a co-worker's leaving, it could be perhaps there's been something you've been working on, particularly if you are in a profession that works for the better good of society. Maybe there's a big project that comes to some sort of completion or high point. For some that I have, entered into study with regard to those sorts of careers, you may be admitted, or, well, particularly in Australia, I believe today, which is, the 16th of December, we're recording this a little bit earlier, but a lot of them have just found out whether they're been accepted to the university that they want to become affiliated with and do their study with. So yeah, this would be a high point. Yes, I got, to study what I want at this university. But this could be, entering a police academy or enrolling in, a course. For pets, it could be something to do with, their graduating obedience school, or, if you show pets, maybe they do really well in some competition. With illness, hopefully, this would be the end of an illness, but it may be, yeah, hopefully the end, an ending or a culmination. Sometimes illness has to get worse before it gets better. I don't like to kind of speak too much on that because I'm not trained in medical astrology, but generally speaking, this is high points, culminations, or endings to do with those topics.
A serious house for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are a Capricorn rising, this full moon is going to be happening in your seventh house. And the seventh house is the house of the other. Things will be coming to fruition, things that you started about 6 months ago, maybe, with your partner. It could be a partner, it could be a spouse, it could be a business partner, or it could even be if you were trying to get an appointment with a lawyer, a hairdresser, or somebody you would have a one-on-one contact with. And this would be a time when would be all coming together in the one-on-one relationships that you have.
And if you are a Sagittarius ascendant, this full moon is happening in your 8th house. The 8th house is one of the more difficult houses. It's associated with other people's money. So this could be a high point, completion, or ending regarding an inheritance or taxation matters. It could be insurance. It could be loans and debts. It could be shared finances. So this is going to be different for different people. This could be, you've paid off that big loan. Maybe there's a mortgage and you've paid it off. Wouldn't that be lovely? Or it could be, because this is also the partner's money, this could be, you've separated, you're going through divorce, and at this time you've reached a financial agreement about how you're going to split those assets. For others, it could be a high point in that, maybe they get some venture capital funding at this time, or a loan's approved, or, that inheritance finally comes through after going through probate and all that.
And if you are a Scorpio rising, this full moon is going to be happening in your 9th house. The 9th house is the house of legal issues, publishing, higher education, as well as the esoteric subjects. So, and if you are a Scorpio rising, this would be, culmination around those things. If you are, if you're headed to be locked up, this could be a hard time to, get out of any kind of legal situation. The mansion, because of the moon mansion, it's saying that it's pretty solid that you're going to be locked up. Anyway, hopefully you are not, but if you have any of those legal issues, they might be coming to, you might be getting some closure on those things as well, if you are a Scorpio rising.
Didn't the moon mansion say something about lawsuits though?
It was good for incarcerations will be strong, is how they request, how they say it.
I
As
thought there
far as
was
other
something.
a victory by lawsuits. Yeah. So
Nice. So it depends which side you're on.
it depends which side you're on.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're on the right side.
Mm. And if you are a Libra ascendant, this full moon is happening in your 10th house. This is a very visible house, and a full moon, as you know, it's very, very visible. You've got a lot of light shining on you at this time, for good or for bad. This is generally a good house, but, it does cover fame and honor and reward and recognition and career and what you're known for, but it does also cover infamy. So if you are doing something a little bit devious, it could come to light at this time. But yes, this could be something to do with work if you're employed. It could be, big projects coming to completion. It could be you're being recognized in some way. It could be something to do with boss, because this is also authority figures. It could be a boss is leaving, or it could be something major happening with a boss, or for whatever reason, you are getting a lot of attention at this time. It could be you're getting married, you're having a baby, and this would also show up in other things in your chart. But, it's not always career. It's, why have you got so much attention at this time? For whatever reason, you're going to get attention at this time. That full moon's shining its full light in that very, very visible house. And it probably has something to do with a high point, culmination, or an ending.
If you are a Virgo rising, this is going to be happening in your 11th house. And the full moon in the 11th house is going to be when things are coming together around groups, friends, associations, and things that support you. This is when the moon is in the 11th house. It's things that you might have started with groups about 6 months ago around the groups that you might be entering. Like if you were starting to join a volleyball team or some kind of other associations or groups, this would be a time when it's all coming together and things are panning out for how you had planned them.
And if you're a Leo ascendant, this full moon is happening in your 12th house. The 12th house is another one of the difficult houses. It has to do with our undoing. So this can include escapism, addiction. It can be hidden illnesses that aren't kind of visible. So this can include anxiety. It can include mental health issues. It could also probably include things like autoimmune diseases. That person looks fine, but they could be in a lot of pain. It's places of retreat, like monasteries, and other retreats, like a writer's retreat or a spiritual retreat. It's also places of confinement, like prisons and hospitals. So there may be a high point, culmination, or ending to do with one of those matters. And it can be just hidden and secret matters. It's a very hidden house. It's places of exile. So it's being, if not literally far from home, certainly far from home in spirit. You do have Pluto in your 6th house. And that 6th house does include things like illness. It's been hovering between that and your 7th house. It's going to, from September to November next year, it's going to, like from the 20th of January, which is not that far away now, it is going to pop into Aquarius. But yeah, look, yeah, maybe this is an illness or something, addiction. If there's addictions, you need to overcome, because you do have the sun shining its light in your 6th house. So it's calling attention to there. You do have Pluto, which is, been causing some drama in there. It's getting ready to move on, though. Maybe this is positive in that maybe there's an end to an addiction, or, maybe when we talk about a high point, sometimes you need to kind of hit rock bottom before you can kind of actually start to ascend again. Maybe that's something that could happen. Or it could be you're just locking yourself away to work on something behind the scenes.
Very interesting energy,
It
especially with
is.
all the with the two planets that are highlighted in the moon mansions. They're both out of bounds. So with the moon and the Mars, anytime and with the moon, that's our emotions. So anyway.
Yeah.
The stone that I have that I brought, it's called a golden healer. It's a quartz with gold in it. Not real gold, it's just a golden color. it's the golden color is actually caused from hematite. So, but yeah, these are golden healer stones, and they have a Mohs hardness of 7. They are from the earth and air energy, or earth and air element, and they cover all the chakras. And this is us, it's got really gentle healing. It's got it's a lot of quartz in there, so um, but this is it's gentle healing. I kind of use it as if somebody is in need of all over kind of conscious healing. Yeah. It kind of is my Hail Mary. A lot of times I'll use this stone if for some if I just think that there's some kind of intervention that is beyond what normally I use. So, or what's available. It's usually a stone that I use if there's something going on that might not be very known at the time, but that I just get a feeling that we need some kind of higher intervention than normal. So this is got the healing of Christ consciousness is what it's called. Spiritual. It's from Arkansas, where it's first uncovered, and it's since been found in Brazil as well. So that's where you can get it.
Very interesting.
So the first aspect is going to be retrograde Mercury is going to square Neptune. And this is, Mercury and Neptune Mercury is our communication, Neptune is our thought or our ideas. And with these two squaring, it's whatever conversation you're having, I would not be signing contracts. This is not a time for that. This might be a good time to explore creative thought more than do anything that would have to be like a contract type of work. This is more of the let's kind of brainstorm, but I wouldn't sign a name to it. It's just kind of that energy that, well, with Mercury at retrograde, you should be thinking twice before you sign things. With Neptune, it's just kind of confounding that.
Yeah, totally. And this is on the 27th of December, so just the day after the full moon. Yeah, the full moon. Yeah, I always think of Mercury square Neptune as very Mercury retrograde like anyway, but this is happening while Mercury is retrograde, so it's like even more so. Plus, we have Mars and Mercury moving towards a conjunction, so I think we're going to hear something, or just it's easy to kind of get the wrong message, to take offense to something that somebody said, which they probably didn't mean, or it could be a text or email, or you hear it through friends, and it's just, yeah, I don't think this is good. I think just after this full moon, even for a couple of days, probably not until we have it, Mercury and Mars move a good degree away from each other after their conjunction. I just think it's really combustible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good. Oh, look at that. That moon at the time, and this is at the exact retrograde Mercury square that Neptune, at the time that aspect first kind of becomes exact, the moon is going to be at 8 degrees of Cancer, which is exactly opposite where Mercury stationed retrograde. And I know that because it's square my sun. I'm not looking forward to these couple of days. It's going to be, I think,
Interesting. Don't do anything that you committed to.
it's just like, it's just yeah, because not only is Mercury squaring that Neptune, Mars and Mercury going to meet in that conjunction, and then Mars is going to come up and square that Neptune, which is all confused anger and misdirected anger. And yeah, it's just it's not good. I think this is going to be a really tense week. And I mean, unfortunately, it's leading up to New Year's.
And then the next aspect we're going to be talking about is the sun will trine retro Jupiter. Jupiter has been in retrograde for quite a while, so it's becoming out. Or it won't be coming out, but this is the trine to the sun is trining Jupiter, and this is typically usually a nice kind of feeling. This gives you energy. The sun is charged. It's got your vitality. It gives you energy. With Jupiter though is a benefic, and that sun Jupiter energy it should be positive. I wouldn't, it's not it's not as positive as it could be. I think with Jupiter in Taurus, this would be a good day to, have something good happen to you. Yet, with Jupiter in retrograde, it's not acting as auspicious as it could. So things could not be as pristinely nice as they could be. Jupiter is that expansion. He wants you to expand. He's generous. Those are the kind of energies that you'll be dealing with, but it is still in retrograde, so
Yeah.
not as good.
This is happening the same day as that retrograde Mercury square Neptune. And yeah, with the sun trine retrograde Jupiter, it can be positive, but I think it's easy to get carried away and be a little bit overly enthusiastic that Jupiter's not working at full capacity. He's going back over old ground. And I think particularly with this retrograde Mercury square Neptune, that could be the case. And that may actually lead to a bit of a temper tantrum later on when it kind of comes out that no, I didn't mean that, I meant this. Maybe you had your hopes raised and they're kind of a little bit dashed. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And obviously if it's making contact with planets in your chart, you may feel it more significantly. But Jupiter's benefic, it's trying to help, but maybe we just think it's giving us so much more than what we actually receive. And that could lead to some disappointment.
Yeah, because Jupiter is a benefic, but it also, can, it can have some negative side effects to Jupiter, like overstraining yourself or just overdoing, like you were saying. And the next aspect we're going to be talking about is retro Mercury is going to conjunct Mars. And oh my gosh, watch your tongue. That's all I can say is just, be very cautious about how you travel as well. With Mercury is the planet of how we travel and how we communicate. Both areas could have some Mars influences with it, with that conjunction, and that could either show up as rage or severing, hurt, bleeding. That's all Mars. So Mars is definitely in the mix here. And with that, it's applying to that square with Neptune as well. So you might not see it, in exactly how it's going to manifest, but it could be hidden. Some things could be hidden. So just exercise a little bit more caution Wednesday, December 27th, when this aspect is applying to it. When it's approaching the connection is where it's the strongest. So even the 26th, even the day before, this is a pretty strong energy with Mercury retrograde. It's trying to readdress something. And if if the tip of your finger is not serving the world, it might be gone. So just exercise caution with taking those risks.
Yeah, because I mean, this
I
is
can see what you're talking about, the hard week coming up. Whew.
Yeah. And I mean, like, this is all happening on the 27th, the day just after full in the US, just after the full moon. The full moons can kind of heighten emotions. And then we've got on the 27th, we've got retro Mercury squaring Neptune. So, you know, miscommunications, and Mercury's already retrograde. Then we got the Sun trine retro Jupiter, which can kind of, you know, sometimes lead to thinking something's much bigger than it is and more exciting. And then we've got, you know, Mercury conjunct Mars. I just think it could be some, yeah, this could be some temper tantrums. This could be some harsh words. This can be, and a lot of it, I think, is just going to be disappointment, because it's going to be a reaction to disappointment, because we thought we were getting this huge thing and it's not. We didn't fully understand, or somebody didn't communicate properly, or we weren't listening properly. And yeah.
Yeah. And we've dealt with this energy before. We'll get through it. It's just, you know, these are planets that they don't step out of the universe for, you know, our benefit. They we have to deal with them, and they do have these combinations before. So we've dealt with them before. We'll deal with them again. We'll just be a little bit more cautious because we're now more aware of when we could actually accidentally cut our finger.
I was just thinking, you know, isn't it good that Uranus isn't doing anything, but the moon at the time is coming up to sextile Uranus. So Uranus, sudden, unexpected, shocking, and the moon, our emotions. But the moon will be in Cancer, so that's helpful. But yeah, look, I think it's going to be a huge disappointment for a lot of people, and it's going to be like those dashed hopes, or maybe not dashed, but maybe it's not going to be as big and wonderful as you thought. And yeah, maybe there's going to be a couple of temper tantrums and some harsh words and kind of crestfallen people. And, you know, so soon after the, you know, Christmas or, you know, the holiday season, it might be rather depressing.
Or could it possibly be a rousing good speech? A highly driven speech? I don't know, with Mercury retrograde. I'm not so sure it would come off as flawless.
Okay. Retrograde Mercury.
I'm trying to pull out something that's positive. That Neptune kind of clouds a lot with the unclarity. But if you, really highly driven to communicate art. Oh, there you go. Let's just hope. It's a good day for coloring. Just stay off to yourself and just color.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but maybe you don't want to color that day. I don't know. I'm thinking hiking too, but you know, you can't read the map or the GPS signal goes down, and yeah.
I would only hike in level areas, not by cliffs and stuff, that's for sure. A saunter around the block with your pets. There you go. Okay. So, and then the next aspect that we're going to be talking about is that Mars square Neptune. And, you know, Mars is that drive. It's drive and leadership, bravery, courage. That's Mars. But Neptune is foggy and unclear, and you know, that feeling that you can't really see what is going on. So you might have a lot of things that you're driving towards an aspect or an issue where you're not informed about everything that's going on about that issue, you know. So this could be just temper your drive for a little while, because that drive seems to be fueling a lot of your energy this week. And with that Neptune so darn close, it could definitely create things that you're not seeing. So, you know, just it needs to be said with a lot of caution, especially now that I'm seeing that moon is opposing Pluto. Just a time to exercise caution. You know, yeah. I'm sticking with the crayons and the markers and the coloring books.
Yeah. Well, this is the next day. This is the 28th of December. Mercury and Mars, actually, I'm surprised how far they've gotten away from each other within one day.
Mm.
So that's something. They're what? Oh, I suppose they're only really a degree and a half away from each other, but still, that's better than, sticking around. Misdirected anger, misdirected energy, reminds me when I put together like IKEA, cabinets and don't fully read the instructions properly, and you find out you've put it together upside down, or this panel should be over here, and that sort of thing. It's misdirected energy. It's you weren't fully clear, and it may not be that you just didn't read the instructions. It may be that the instructions weren't included, or they're just very, very brief, not really detailed. As Donna said, that moon is coming up to oppose Pluto, and the moon can often trigger things, even though it's not actually triggering this. Oh, well, actually, it would have trined a few hours back. It would have trined that Neptune. So, I still think that for a lot of people, you're in a bad mood. You thought you were getting this big thing. You didn't get it. You're kind of just bad tempered, and maybe you're taking it out on somebody who really doesn't deserve it. Or, you're so caught up in your own head about things that you're not fully concentrating. And that could be regarding anything. If you're driving and you're not concentrating on what you're doing, you're so up in your head about this disappointment, or you're angry at somebody, and that you're not fully concentrating. Yeah, not a good time to be operating machinery if you are highly upset and all that. That moon is coming up to, well, it will have just trined Venus, so that may be a little bit helpful. But yeah, misdirected energy. I think the best you could hope for is that you start something in it, you find out, oh, I've got to take it apart and start again, because it's a misapplication of energy in some way. I think that's possibly the best you could hope for.
And the next aspect we're going to be talking about is Venus is going to sextile Pluto. And when Venus sextiles Pluto, this is still power struggles. This is still wanting control. This is, it's you have a very good planet and a very intense planet. So love relationships could be intense as well.
Yeah, this is on the 29th. I'm hoping this is kind of nice. And it depends on your personality too. Some people love a little bit of intensity. Some people just think it's ugh. And naturally, depending on your chart, if this is making contact with planets in your chart, this may be quite transformative, positively or negatively. But yeah, the moon will have trined Venus. It's moving past that opposition to Pluto. Yeah. Depth, intensity, revealing, being open. Yeah, maybe transforming a relationship. That's probably the best you could hope for with this energy. Not that, not that it's necessarily bad. Venus is moving relatively quickly, so that's something.
Yeah, I think you have some help with the Venus. I think the moon and Jupiter might step in. The moon's going to be applying to a square with Jupiter. Hopefully, a little bit of benefic energy might pop in that day.
Yeah, well, the moon will have just trined Venus,
Just left us square.
and then go to the square with Jupiter. So yeah, hopefully.
And the next aspect is Venus is going to hop out of that sign that she's not comfortable in of Scorpio. And this is going to happen on December 29th. Venus is going to move out of Scorpio and into Sagittarius. And this is where she's going to be a lot happier. She does not like Scorpio. And in Sagittarius, she doesn't have a lot of affinity with it, but she does okay in this sign.
Yeah, at least she's not in detriment. I think of it as a real fun-loving energy. I mean, Sag is pretty fun-loving and adventurous, and yeah, we've got that Mars Mercury in there, but they're moving away from each other, so that's something. And wherever Sagittarius is in your natal chart, you may benefit in some way because Venus is a benefic, so she sometimes brings gifts. Or if you're not receiving some sort of benefit or gift, it could be just that things are nice and more harmonious and just, you know, just easier to do with people or topics associated with whatever house Sagittarius is in your natal chart.
Yeah, this is a very good house for, when Venus moves in there, Jupiter can't really see her where she is, but they have mutual reception. So she's going to get a lot of help with Jupiter. Jupiter is her host for
Mhm.
this time, and she's going to hopefully be able to brighten up that earlier from all the events of earlier in this week. Hopefully she'll be able to, they both will be able to lend us some benefic aspects to our lives. This is going to be a really good, how you have the really bad time, it has to be offset with the really good time. So Venus in Sagittarius, when Jupiter is in Venus's house, they're both saying, I have your key, you have my key, make yourself at home, make yourself at home. They're very much supporting each other. So this should really give us some respite after earlier in the week. And then the next aspect, as we were talking about Jupiter, he's got to help Venus out. So he's going to get stronger as soon as he goes stations direct, and he's going to station direct December 30th. And yes, he is in Taurus, Venus's sign, so he's going to be getting some help, and he is going to be on his way to Uranus later on in the year. So now that he's stationing direct, he can start moving forward with whatever he was trying to retrograde and ideas that he was trying to accomplish. He's now can, I think we'll start seeing that type of energy moving more direct. I think that the what Jupiter is bringing to us will be more able to be seen.
Yeah, and I think regarding those topics, there may have been disappointment, or not disappointment. We may have been all fired up and enthusiastic about something before the retrograde, and then the retrograde might have come along and we realized it's going to take longer or more plans, or we were relying on somebody else to help us with something and they weren't available at that time. This should be like things should kind of almost turn a corner, like some of that optimism comes back. That person that may have been able to assist you is like, oh, okay, I'm back, how can we, let's start working on this sort of thing. So nice. Yeah, nice to have one of the benefics going direct again. And then we thought we would have a look at New Year's Eve. We just set it for midnight for the capital cities of the 5 countries that are the largest group of viewers for the YouTube channel. So Australia isn't the largest group of viewers. In fact, it was coming in at number 5, but because of the time zone difference, it's coming up here. And the reason is that we're doing this is you'll be able to see how New Year's Eve will be different in different countries because we have the moon coming up. You can see here, the moon will be in Virgo and it's coming up to oppose Saturn, and then it will square Venus, and then it will trine Jupiter, which is nice. Yeah, for those in Australia, or at the strike of midnight in Canberra, at least, the moon will be coming up. It's still moving towards that opposition with Saturn, so there may be some restrictions or limitations. You may feel, I'm having a really good time, but I've got to do this tomorrow, I can't drink too much. Maybe there's just some sort of limitation, but, the moon will move after midnight. And it depends, some people don't even make it to midnight. Some people are still partying at, 3, 4, 5 o'clock the next morning. And if you are doing that, then you will kind of run into the square with Venus, which will be nice, and the trine to Jupiter. But yeah, in Australia, for most of us, I'm trying to think if Perth will get that, or whether no, Perth is quite a bit behind. I think Perth will be even closer to that opposition. And then the next one we're looking at is New Delhi in India, because our top viewers are the US, followed by India, then the UK, Canada, and then Australia. So we thought we'd have a look at New Delhi. And you can see in this chart that the moon is just moved past that Saturn. So their New Year's Eve, once it strikes midnight, then the fun really starts.
Yeah. And if we were reading this as a mundane chart, in the moon in the 12th house isn't it's not the best place for it. And you also have that opposite to Saturn. So service workers will be restricted.
Yeah. I'm just looking at Canberra again. Libra ascendant. So that's nice. So where's Venus? Venus in the 3rd house. Maybe a lot of community get-togethers, rather than, heading out to, well, that's Perth, actually. Let me change that back to Canberra. I know. What do I have? Neptune square. No, Neptune trine Neptune in my chart. I can't wait for it to move off. And this Mercury retrograde is just messing with me. So you'll just have to bear with me. So Canberra will actually be a Virgo ascendant.
Virgo rising. Ooh.
Yes, I think Brisbane's
all about the
Libra.
details.
Well, yeah, it does tend to be just, mainly full of politicians. So, but they won't be there this time of year, I don't imagine. And then we have the UK, London.
The Libra ascendant, which is nice.
And the moon will have moved past that opposition. So may have been just a bit of tension earlier in the day or earlier in the night. But, once the clock strikes, you're looking forward to that square with Venus and the trine to Jupiter. And then Washington.
Ooh, Libra. South node in the 1st house. That's not good. So there's some kind of a loss. We have the moon is applying to the sun, so nice trine there.
Well, the thing is too, it's 5 degrees, so yeah, maybe during the day there may have been some restrictions and limitations. It's kind of like, maybe traffic's bad and all the rest of it, but coming into like celebrating that night, you've got that square with Venus, which can be quite fun, and the trine to Jupiter. So it looks like a really nice night, actually, I think. That south node's going to be in the 1st house, because I know Perth had a Libra ascendant, Brisbane had a Libra ascendant, I think New Delhi had a Libra ascendant, and did London? I think London did too.
I think London had a Libra ascendant too, so we're all going to kind of be in the same house. Well, which is good because we're all. Are we more global? Are we working towards being more global? I don't know, but this chart definitely.
Well, the thing is, like, as Donna pointed out when I was doing this, but I thought I'd show it anyway, Ottawa is very similar chart because they're on the same time zone. What is it, Eastern Standard Time at the moment? You're not on daylight time anymore, are you? Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, I kind of like that the ruler of the ascendant, and you can't see the ascendant here because I've taken it out, so it doesn't kind of distract, but it is a Libra ascendant, that Venus is in the 3rd. I think there's going to be a lot more, because like over here, and I imagine in most cities, a lot of people like to go into the city and see the fireworks and, yada, yada, yada. I just kind of think that for a lot of people, there's going to be a lot more like hanging out in, the suburbs or, just
I
more
like that,
local
community oriented.
attractions. Yeah, more local area. Yeah, I think. Anyway. Oh, that's right. And then we have that Venus square Saturn coming up. And that's going to be for everyone. But it's not fully there yet, but it will be felt at that time. Venus square Saturn. Yeah, that's responsibilities. That's, stop flirting with all those boys or all those girls or where is it? It's still going to be felt even in Australia.
And the next aspect
Go on, sorry.
is Venus is going to square Saturn. And this is cooling love relationships. When you mix Saturn is cold and Venus wants to warm up everything, it kind of puts a coolness towards or into love relationships, I think. This could also be serious duty duty driven, like with family, if there are family members that might need help. This would be something that you would do, to help out a family member. This is duty and love. So
but it is
kind of
causing
nice,
some
warm
tension.
energy.
Yeah, it is likely to cause some tension, even if that's just you kind of rolling your eyes to yourself or kind of having a bit of an inward sigh. Doesn't have to mean, there's going to be a blow up or anything, but this is responsibilities and obligations regarding relationships. And it may not be necessarily a romantic relationship. It may be any relationship. It could be, close friends, parental, or children. Yeah. For whatever reason, there's like, oh, yeah, I've got to do that. And you're not too thrilled.
That square is giving the challenge of, do I go to the park with my friends, or do I go cut my parents' lawn, or do I, it's that struggle that you have between the fun things that you have in your life and the duty parts that you have of your life. That's where your challenge is going to be. So get that all figured out ahead of time.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lynda. You've been waiting for this one.
I certainly have. Mercury stations direct on the 1st of January. Thank you. Yeah, so this is the 1st of January in the US. It's quite late. So this will be the 2nd of January for those of us living in the future, which sounds a bit arrogant. But I mean, like, this will be, let me think. This will be midday on Tuesday or so in Australia, early afternoon. Yeah. Okay, so finally, only problem is Mercury's going to catch up with that Mars again. And how fast is he moving? He's not doing anything. He's going to stand still for a little while. He's going to brood on it. But I mean, he's in Sagittarius, so I don't know if we're really going to be brooding. Maybe we'd just be thinking about how we're going to tell somebody exactly what we think of them. I don't know. I'm just talking rubbish now. But Mercury is going to, once it starts moving, it's going to start moving fast, and he's going to catch up with Mars again. So if you can think back to what happened, when was that? The 27th, I think, when they had their conjunction.
Yes, on the 27th.
Yeah, if you can think back to what happened on the 27th, when they eventually do catch up, which won't be for a little while, but I will find out. Yeah, well, it won't be till the 26th of January. So when they catch up then, that might be interesting. That might be when what happened on, what did we say, the 27th? So a month later, there may be some comeback for that. Interesting. But Mercury is going to station direct. We still have to watch out because there is the retrograde shadow period, and Donna and I did a video about that, so we'll link to that. But yes, hopefully things will start to not be as troublesome. And I mean, if this is making connections to your chart, you probably notice the troubles more than others. And particularly if you have something.
If Mercury is
yeah,
hitting any of your planets in any of the those signs, Pisces,
yeah,
Gemini,
yeah,
Virgo.
yeah, the
So,
mutables. What's he going to do first?
and as Mercury stations direct, it's going to be on that 1 degree for a little bit longer than it normally is. So if you do have a planet there, you might feel this Mercury retrograde type of energy a lot stronger than other people will.
Yeah.
And then it's going to move really, really fast. It's going up to like 143% of its speed within like days. So,
Mm. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
just looking too, when it does station, the moon is going to be trine Uranus. So, hmm,
Hmm.
maybe we'll just be so relieved that it's over. What else we got? Oh, interesting.
Ooh. Mars enters Capricorn, and this is the sign where Mars is exalted and can have the tools that he is familiar with using and can get his agenda done with a little bit more ease and hopefully with a bit of higher vibe than cutting fingers and getting into accidents and road rage and stuff like that. Maybe more leadership roles that Mars can now take on now that he is in Capricorn, where he is exalted. So this will be really nice.
Very nice.
And as I always say, anytime a planet moves into a new sign, journal, 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 because that energy kind of like moves into the sign. It says, like, I'm here. So take note. What is it going to do?
Yeah, a lot of focus on the Capricorn house at this time. You've already got the sun in there almost halfway through, and shining a light on the people and topics associated with wherever Capricorn are in your chart. And obviously, you've had Pluto in there too. So, but yeah, good position for Mars. He's exalted here. So, really, you can expect to have more energy, action, drive, ambition regarding the topics and people associated with this house. You may need to watch aggression and temper, irritability, but Mars is in a good, he's in good condition here, so he should be behaving himself for the most part.
And it will be very welcomed. And then the next aspect is going to be the sun will trine Uranus. And this is a sign, or this is where, you're being asked to look at things in a new light. Or try different things a new way. This is a rebellion. This is adventure and revolutionary thought. So you are definitely being asked to whatever issue you're trying to face or cope with. And it depends on what houses these two planets are in your own chart on where they're asking you to look at a certain thing in a different way. So if you know your chart, you're ahead on the game because you'll understand what they're asking you to look at differently.
Yeah, this is on the 9th of January, and if I remember correctly, let me just have a quick look. There's a big, yeah, we had quite a few. We had two aspects on the 1st of January, Venus squares Saturn, Mercury stations direct. On the 4th of January, Mars enters Capricorn, and then we've got 5 days until the sun trines Uranus. So there's been kind of like maybe a bit of a still energy. Obviously, the moon will be moving around and making aspects to different planets, but there hasn't been much planetary energy, but Mercury is getting back up to speed. This is something a little bit different, and it's the sun, so it's moving quick. It's not going to be um, you know earth shattering or anything, unless you do have planets, like Donna said, you know, at 19 Capricorn or Taurus. But yeah, this is, you know, shaking things up. This could be, you know, you eat somewhere different that day, or you do something a little bit different. Yeah, or maybe you just like, because Uranus can be about freedom, you know, maybe you always do this, but you haven't necessarily needed to do that. Maybe you're like, you know what, you need to look after that yourself. And, you know, and because the sun is us, you know, people are kind of like, oh, that's a little bit unusual. So, yeah. Yeah, but it's a trine. Hopefully, yeah, just shaking things up a little bit.
I'd rather have this type of energy than the earlier energy we had in this
Oh,
episode.
yeah. Yeah, this could be like playing hooky. It's just kind of like, you know, that was a really hard couple of weeks. And, you know, do you want to go to the beach, or I don't know, what do you do over there in the winter?
Sledding. We go sledding, ice skating, skiing.
Ah, yeah. Do you want to go sledding, or, you know, ice skating, or whatever, you know? And, you know, we've got this stuff to do, but oh, let's just go and do that instead. It's fun. It's, you know, haven't done that for ages. Yeah, just cut and loose. I like it.
And the next aspect we are going to have is Mars is going to sextile Saturn. And these are the two malefic planets, and they're making contacts, which could result in, you know, some negative aspects, but or negative events coming to us. But this could, you know, it's a sextile, so it's nice. Hopefully it's, you know, aspect where we could get some positivity out of there. Maybe hard work that's good for us. This could be, you know, this could be dedicated work. Like if you were putting up a building, you're going to want Saturn and Mars both in there. You know, Saturn's going to say, hey, you know, measure twice, and Mars will say, I'm ready to do it, you know. So you want both of those energies to get things done. And with the sextile could be a positive aspect to facilitate that. So I would look forward to this. Just know that those are the malefic planets that we're working with. So we want to be as nice as possible. Don't tempt the beast. Don't poke at a tiger, you know. Just, you know, do the things that are required and more somber, but you'll have that drive to do those things with.
Yeah.
So clean that room.
Yeah, it's interesting that this is happening the same day. Let's see how many. Yeah, it's only a couple of hours after that exact Sun trine Uranus. So they're happening around about the same time, that freedom loving, kind of changing things up. Mars is exalted here. It's sextiling Saturn. I really like it. I think Saturn can give some disciplined, grounded energy to that Mars. That Mars is super powerful. You can put it to really good work. Really nice for doing something that needs energy, drive, ambition. Yeah, I think this is very positive. Just wondering whether that's going to tie in with that Sun trine Uranus. You know, maybe there's like, you know, oh, what if we tried this? And yeah, here's the energy and the stability and the groundedness to, you know, actually make it work. That would be nice. Ooh, look at that lineup. And we will have had the moon just come into Capricorn too. So moon, Mars, Sun, and Pluto in Capricorn. Interesting.
Mm.
Very interesting.
Yeah, on a negative, the only way this could be, you know, if this could be a negative with the Mars sextile Saturn is if you get locked up, just so you're probably going to get beat up. So yeah,
Oh my goodness.
well, you have, I mean, it's both sides. It's the same energy. It's how you apply it.
Mars is in the superior position. Um, yeah, I kind of think of this energy as like a boxer for Mars and like the trainer for
Saturn.
Saturn. Yeah, it's like the boxers
There you
all
go. That's nice.
energy, and but you know, sometimes they need to be directed, and you know, they need that wisdom and knowledge and uh yeah, you know, somebody to kind of guide it. So yeah. And yeah,
Very
it's
nice.
very much how I think of these two together when they're in a sextile or trine. I think it could be positive. I hope so.
I was just going on the opposite just to like, put that in because I don't want somebody coming back going, hey, I just, this happened to me
Well,
because it could.
this is the thing too. It's like this is a very general reading of the energies. It will, obviously how it interacts with your chart is going to be different for everybody. So
Absolutely. And everybody has such a different chart. They're like fingerprints because whatever your chart is, you are not going to find another person who has that same chart. It would be highly unlikely to be able to find somebody like that. So yeah, how it plays out on your chart is going to be totally different. And
mhm.
if you have planets that are supporting one way or the other, you know, it might lead you to have extra caution or, be able to accept new ideas. So that's
Mm,
all. That's my input on that. Free will.
free will.
Oh, is that the last aspect?
Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do the look ahead. Guess what? You're going to have to wait till next year.
To look ahead for what?
The new moon in, I don't know,
Oh,
Aquarius, Capricorn. Because usually
right.
have a
Because
look
we're going to
ahead
have a
at the,
new moon for our next episode. It's going to be new moon in Capricorn.
ah,
Yes.
have you got the
You
degree?
had me startled for a minute.
Do you have the degree? Better not be 26.
Yeah, I do. I do. It's going to happen at 20 degrees, 44 minutes. It's in my notes.
20
20 degrees,
degrees.
44 minutes of Capricorn. So
Hmm. Okay. I'm not looking at it.
that is
It's going to wait.
no, yeah. We've had enough energy so far for this lunation. It's jam-packed,
Mhm.
a little rough start at the beginning, but we have some bumps and some turns to get things to look at it in a different light. So
Yeah.
not too bad. So, Lynda, what kind of services do you do and how can people get a hold of you?
I'm at Scullywag Astrology. That's astrology.scullywag.com. And I offer natal readings, year ahead readings, and romantic synastry, which is comparing charts. And what about you, Donna?
Nice. I have a website you can get a hold of me and get some information. There's my blogs for uh that I write every week for the energies coming for the lunar applications, but I also do natal readings, year ahead readings, horary, electional. I do a little bit of medical, and I also work with healing stones on energy healing, and you can get a hold of me either through my website or at donnabarconsulting@gmail.com.
Very good. Yeah, if you don't check our YouTube channel very often, we have, I believe, Aries to Libra 2024 horoscopes already loaded. That will be when I've got them all done. And Donna's been doing a lot of editing with that, which is great because they're getting done. um, yeah, so once they're all up, or if not beforehand, from probably the 1st of January, we will be uploading those to the podcast and to Facebook. So hope you have a very happy, safe, joyful Christmas or holiday celebration and a really nice new year.
Wherever you celebrate, have it, and Happy New Year.
Mhm. And thank you for your likes and your comments and just listening during the year. We really appreciate it. We've really enjoyed it.
Yes, we do. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.